Welcome back. Well, the New South Wales Coalition will introduce a bill in Parliament to crack down on criminals and make the state the hardest place in Australia to sell illegal tobacco and vapes. According to the opposition, the Minns Labor government has let New South Wales become the easiest place in the country for crooks to make money. Joining us now is the New South Wales Shadow Health Minister, Kelly Sloan. Kelly, good to catch up. Thank you very much for joining me. Look, this is really important because I see these little shops everywhere, and what they're doing is they're actually through the back door, I guess, selling vapes and tobacco. Just how easy is it to get your hands on this out there?
It's as easy as you want it to be. They are on every street corner, it seems, on every main street, setting up shop in front of schools, brazenly selling illicit tobacco, vapes and other goods to our kids, undermining the profits of the legitimate businesses on the streets and also bringing crime into our communities. And in the last week or so in New South Wales, we've seen some terrible crime. It's been like scenes from Underbelly with stabbings and a man losing his toe getting chopped off because at the heart of this plot is illicit tobacco, a multi-billion-dollar trade in this country that is out of control. Well,
it is out of control, and it's right that the opposition is now actually doing something about it. So you've introduced this bill. How far will it go? What are your hopes for it?
So we're saying at the moment the penalties that apply are really just the cost of doing business for these crooks. They're laughing off the fines. In fact, just this afternoon it was reported in the Daily Telegraph that one shop that was raided last week is back again selling illicit tobacco today.
Wow. So they don't give up. They're not giving up.
They're not giving up. So we need to take action. No more light touch. We are introducing a bill that will allow enforcement officers to shut these shops down, short-term closure of orders for a month. And if they do the wrong thing, then they will face severe penalties, some of the toughest in the country, including imprisonment for second offences. Now, the landlords under these laws will have the ability to terminate leases. And that's a first as well, because they're saying they don't want to rent to the crooks. They need to get out of the contract, and we're providing that as well. These are laws that are being backed in by the shops themselves. They've come to us a real cry for help, to help them, and so we're responding to that.
Well, look, good on you for raising this. I just think it's such an important topic. And you mentioned earlier as well, they're setting up in front of our schools. They're in disguise as you know, these little shops, but they're in front of our schools. What sort of an impact is it having?
Well, what we are seeing is a return to increasing nicotine levels in kids. So after 20 years of really solid public health policy work, we are now seeing our kids getting hooked on tobacco again, not just vapes, but actually taking up cigarette smoking. So the Cancer Council and the Lung Foundation are also supporting this bill, backing it in. We need to crack down on these crime gangs. It's so much more than a law and order issue. It's a public health issue.
Has the Minns government done enough in that space? I just want to play you a little bit of what Chris Minns said today. Have a listen.
I just think there's a distortion in the market as a result of the federal government's excise. I'd prefer to do it all in sequence and have common sense approach from the feds and then a regulatory change from us and do it all in one hit. It's very difficult to align state, federal lawmakers behind a single idea, and despite our best efforts with the federal treasurer, they don't seem to be up for moving.
Is he right? Is this a federal thing?
Well, excise is clearly an issue. We have some of the highest taxes in the world when it comes to cigarettes. 75% of the price of the cigarettes is excise. So I have some sympathy for the Premier's position, but we cannot rely on Albo to do the work for us. Jim Chalmers has said they are not budging on excise. So whatever that happens, we cannot ignore what is happening in our backyard, in our communities, on our local streets, in front of our schools. And so we need to act. It's not enough to say, let's wait for the feds. This needs to happen now. Otherwise, in New South Wales, where there are now 20,000 tobacconists across the state,
wow.
20,000,
wow.
escalating at a rate of 1,000 shops a year, we're going to turn into Victoria, where they've had tobacco wars and fire bombings
we don't
of
want
shops.
That. We absolutely don't want that. Kelly Sloan, well done for taking up this fight. Thank you very much for joining me on the show this evening. Appreciate it.